Well, Johnny, what a procedure to get Philly out of this baby. To get you to stand beside it. Not simple.
Just let him see what the rest is going through over there. Hey, lifting the big swears, but he'll be happy enough.
Things have gone from strength to strength. We go way back to when we were out with our 630, and your 630 was the first new harvester you had bought, and you still have it. Fast forward, and the big baby is now here.
Yeah. Not planned now. We definitely didn't plan to go to 1180, but we got that big of a sickener last year with heavy crops and just struggling all the time. We just decided that we would go all out and go for the biggest. And one of the main reasons as well, right enough, was this biogas work is getting more and more. And we run 2 20-knife drums, which is 100% for the beef and dairy farmer. They were more than happy with it, but the AD men weren't just so happy with it. So, and then to get them where we needed it was slowing the whole machine down too much and put the machine under extreme labour. So us buying a straight deal harvester, we were well pleased with the deal we were getting, so we went on with the third harvester, and she's doing exceptionally well.
Philly was saying, and it is obvious when you watch back over the footage, that the thing about the 1180 that he can see is it's never actually labouring. But he did say when he was in a reasonable crop, chopping it down to 5 mil for AD plant, that he could start to feel her pull back then.
Oh, aye. We were just saying one day, you'll never pull her, but then he was chopping one day that lovely, dry, fluffy grass, and he had her at 5 mil, and he showed us he took a video of it. I have it on my phone, and her down to 100%. She was labouring, like, she definitely was, which I never thought she would have done now, but there you are.
But for all intents and purposes, in normal chopping, she is simply at her ease.
Yeah, and that's why, because she's at her ease and she's moving there about 12, 13, 14, 15k. He does whatever speed he wants to do. That's just the truth, like, he does. But that 14, 15, 15k, it's just nice. The carter men are beside you. The fields might be a wee bit rough, but it's still all right. You know, you go much more than that. Everything gets a wee bit nearly too fast, you know, but if he has to go to the front of the chiller, he goes to the front of the chiller, like, and he has to go to the back, he goes back.
What notion did you take of the black rims? It's a black rim kind of year, isn't it?
Yeah. I was watching YouTube videos of this 1180s lifting grass, because like, we were up and we didn't know what to do when we were buying her. I was feared of diesel consumption. I definitely was. I was feared of other things, the sheer. Well, I knew her actual frame was no bigger than the 7.8 or anything, you know, but you're just always, well, I don't know, I'm a wild man, I like to do a bit of homework before I buy something, so we were watching YouTube videos, and there was this German video up with an 1180 versus another harvester, and she had black rims, hey, and I said, you know what, hey, makes her look different, and then she'll stand out from the other two. So I says, I'll do black rims, and these here big tyres in the back here too, they don't really do them if you don't buy 900 tyres for the front, because she has a wee shade. She's an inch in each side wider in the back with them tyres. But I says to McGee, we want them, like, so McGee sorted it out and we have them, and we're really, really happy with them.
I think it's fair to say that it wasn't just a straightforward handshake, we want the Krone. You were looking elsewhere, and that's something that you do across the board when you're changing machinery. You're always looking.
Oh, we were looking. Well, no matter what we do, whether it be tractors or any piece of equipment, the whole game now is, the whole farming contracting game has become a real tight game, you know, and there is no bad machine out there, and I will say that. There's no bad tractor, no bad harvester, there's no bad anything. It's just a man's preference. I get on with Irwin's, I get on with Stephen Moore, and I get on with McGee, like, and it was a straight deal, and none of my headers fitted this machine anyway. So it was just open arms, and the best man got the deal, and McGee was the best man on the day, and McGee got the deal. Aye, we have a fleet of Masseys in our yard, but Massey every time was the best deal, and they're doing us exceptionally well, and Massey's looking after us, and we're more than happy. But if Massey started to get dear, I'd have to look, not because I want to, it's because I've no choice, because it's just it is hard, like, there's everything's got very, very, very dear.
When we were out with Adam at the slurry, he made a few comments about the 77 series and his love for the VTs, and that they were doing exceptionally well for you.
Oh, they're doing really well. They're doing it. The Massey is doing us exceptionally well, and at the minute they have definitely got it. We're more than happy with their product, and we're happy enough when we go to change our deals that the pricing change, or the price we're getting to change, and we're
What about the bounce up to the 8S? It was pretty much new. It has now clocked somewhere over 1,000 hours at this stage.
Yep. Oh, we didn't know neither. Like, see, whenever she came in the Mackle days, we went down and seen her, like, we were like, boys, we like her from the front, not so sure from the back. But it was Massey again, says, go on, boys. We need you to try her. We need your feedback. So he says, right then, go on then. And she came, and I have to say we're exceptionally pleased with that tractor. That tractor, I might say, is probably maybe the best tractor the Massey has yet to bring out.
It's just missing the VT at this stage.
Missing the VT, but they have there's a new driving way of driving them tractors now. They're in auto mode. It's like driving a VT, but you do feel her changing the gears. Not much, but you do feel it. We asked the driver the last day, would you prefer a VT the next time, just to see his feedback? And the man says, no. He says, I love that gearbox here. He says, I wouldn't want no VT. So we're really surprised, you know, but not to say I won't try one now, to be honest. I probably will try one.
But I don't think any of you boys yourselves have done anything with the new Massey. Yous aren't allowed in it, I'm told.
I haven't sat under 10 minutes, that's the truth. Adam was on her the other day, for the man that drives her was actually spraying, so Adam was on her, and for about 2 days, he got her for 2 days, and that's about as much as he's drove her as well. Hey. The guy that drives her stays on her, and that's the way it is.
They seem to have a lovely balance between power, grip, and dare I say it, style. I'm not saying every Massey man will agree, it is very Marmite, but for me it's very cool looking, and it also looks very comfy. We put the triple axle Smyth trailer on it this morning because we sort of believe that's the size of tractor you need on that kind of trailer.
We hooked her on this morning. Well, we hooked her on this morning. You're like, that's actually, it looks good. Like that looks well. You know, we don't know really what to expect for. We hooked her on the big tractor last week because we didn't really know what way things were going to go on the big trailer. You know, was she going to bully her or not? But Gordy was driving her, and he says, "Sir, no bother. That thing here's no bother. Here, we move." So he says, "To heck with them. We'll put her on the 8S just to see, because that down the line." That is the kind of tractor we'll be going for from now on. It might not be a 265, it'll be maybe a 225, but the actual frame of the tractor will be all the same size. As far as I know, there's even bigger coming out, but that's not here nor there. We'll see what happens there. But we wanted to see how that tractor would handle a trailer like that, just maybe down the line now with this big harvester and stuff. Maybe we might consider going to maybe a tri-axle trailer, and if that's the way it goes, we can see now that the 8S is no bother handling her.
Another interesting one is the K2. You tried the K2 this year. How did you get on with that?
I'm loving the K2. Brilliant system there for pushing out, very steady, great air brakes now. I'm really liking that trailer. I haven't sent her back yet, so we'll see, but she's still in her yard, and really liking that trailer now.
You were telling us that you were studying up the steering system on the Smyth. What's your honest thoughts on it and the trailer?
Oh, first class. I spent a long time there on Sunday underneath her and looking about her, and she's very well engineered, nearly perfect, I have to say. I couldn't find too many faults about her looking around her. Watching her going in this morning there, we were around the house here this morning, and a lot tighter. Places were a lot tighter than they were that long cart, and she had no bother getting in anywhere we were getting in with them weird trailers. She was coming in, never bait, not once. So the steering axle seems to do an exceptional job on her as well.
What don't you like? You know, what would be your negative fear with this trailer?
Look, the fear's the size. Bottom line, like, the fear's the size. We never ever would have looked at a Smyth trailer before. Not to say that it never really, just they weren't in our area and they never was seen, but here, she's here now and she's done well, so maybe the next time we'll give them a go.
Bouncing back to the 1180, what makes her so much better than what you've had before? Is it genuinely just the horsepower?
It seems to be, hey. Seems to be. Like, there's not any difference really from her cab or anything like that in the 630. It's both cabs are identically the same. The header's still the same. Nothing different there. The feed rollers, they've obviously come again with them another pile of different stuff, which probably better again. But nah, it just seems to be the horsepower, Gareth. She just refuses nothing. I say they have it. I don't think of anything else in it I would want them to change now at the minute. They're more or less perfect as my eyes I can see anyway.
Is the rest of the Krone gear you have as good as the big eggs?
Aye, we bought that new wreck the year as well there, and the 1400, she done brilliant, but she gave a couple of crown wheel pinion troubles, and where she was breaking springs and stuff over time on the suspension that carries the float. She's done away from all that. The crown wheel pinions are now heavier, the bearings and the arms are heavier, and she's now all done with a hydraulic suspension, and you just adjust it in the cab if you're on there rough field, and like so far, hey, and the joystick now is all fancy LED crack, and it's all set up to the tremble as well, so brilliant. Hey.
And the kernel has been upgraded as well since we were last out with you at Grass.
Okay, so I always say new's best. I do, it is. Like we went through a second-hand Big M and torture, and then we bought a 420 and she was even bigger torture. But we've moved on there eventually, we've dug deep and we've brought the brand new 450, and hey, you can see like never a day's bother. She mows 230, 240 acre a day at her cush, and her cush. No, like, and she's not sowing diesel, and she's no issues. Like, definitely is going really well. Really pleased with that machine.
You're still a JCB man in the pit. I see no Volvos have got squeezed in yet.
No Volvo, no, but the Volvo there, I think, you know, Volvo should be doing more demos and stuff. There's no, like, we never offered a demo. Never was offered to us. We like to get it in our street, and we like to drive her for ourselves, and my own operators will judge what they think of her. But there's nothing ever come here, and JCB come here and they done their demos, and it's JCB ever since, and they're going really good too. But I'm not saying someday I'll not change, definitely not.
You've two 435s, old style and the new style. I'm assuming you'll be heading towards two new style shortly.
Aye, well, the deal done, they changed the older style one, but it's like everything now, you have to think a year ahead now, unfortunately, with the way things are going at the minute. But she'll be here for next season. So, and the wee 320 means to be seen what we go there now. I would like to try one of these new 420s to see now, for she'll be due a change, and the third harvester now, the wee 320. We've had her out there a few times, but no, it's no good. Like, you have to get a second one to help her.
I don't know if Gary was saying, but he's away to lift a 420, and when she comes back, she would be an ideal machine maybe to show you for that back up round the yard, maybe smaller harvester, etc.
It'd be really nice to see that machine going. I know a couple of boys have a 420 and the older style now, and they reckon that she would be good as a 416, so I'd be interested to see what this new 420 does.
Well, Johnny, thanks for taking a few minutes today. We better let you get the big girl back to Philly. I think he's crying over there in the field.
That's him ringing there, probably see if I've headed home yet, what way to go. But no, I'm sure I'll get her home.
It'll not be long till we're in touch, and we'll get that 420 out and get your views on it.
As like always, boys, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Cheers, lad.
Thanks.
Thank you.